I come originally from this area. This is Greece, and this is Thessaloniki, it's the northern part. It's a very beautiful city. I was born there, but the last years, my family lives in Corfu. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's an island, a very beautiful island. And I studied in Bristol. I didn't study photography though. I studied something else. I studied politics. And then I started like 7-8 years ago when I came to Brussels. I started doing film photography, which was something I liked when I was a kid. And I had my father gave me a camera, which is, I can show you. Can you see me? Yes, you see me. Yeah? Which is this one. It's a German. I don't know, Klaus, if you're familiar with this one. It's a super pack set. And then I went to Paris. I loaded my first film, and I went to Paris for the first time in Paris. And then I took a lot of pictures. But then when I came back to Brussels, I realized that the film was not developed. For some reason, maybe the film was not attached rightly. So I decided to be more serious when I do this film photography. And then I bought a serious camera, a good one, which is old, but it's a pretty good one. It's a Nikon. I don't know, some of you know it. It's Nikon F2AS. Which is dated back to 1978, I think. And back then was really professional. And I got from Japan, this one. And then I started experimenting, do some experimentations with film. I never had digital before. And then I started doing double exposure, with something I really liked. And I started discovering this whole world where you can combine 2 or more scenes, but not digitally, in a film. It was analog, which I don't know if you do it when you do film photography, but for me it's really exciting. And I can show you some of my first pictures, which was this one, for example. Feel free to say something, because I feel like really alone. I don't hear anything. You can open your mic.
We're just admiring.
You can open the microphone. So this is a double exposure. So there's no editing. It's original. It's really original. It's analog. So I took the first picture. So the basic thing about double exposure, for those that are not familiar with this, it's you took two pictures, the same frame. So you take the first picture, which is the girl in red, and then I took a second frame. A second picture on the same frame with the moon, and this is the result. And the girl is very, very reddish because it was my motorcycle. Because the lights of my motorcycle. I put her in front of the lights of my motorcycle in the middle of the forest, so that's why you have this contrast. And then I have this is a triple exposure. I took 3 pictures together. And this is a picture I really, really like. It was like 5 years ago, this one. You can see Marco, who is the main person. And then in the background, you can see 2 other girls and some lights. And then I have this one also, which is a double exposure. And this one, Rosa chose this one with the flowers, and I have another one with flowers, which is this one.
And this is 2 frames, or no?
Two
this
frames.
Is two.
Two
Wow.
frames. But these 2 flowers are during the daytime, right? Daylight. The others, most of my double exposures are during night, which is something I really, really like. And yeah, this is double exposure, and then I do other stuff. I'm trying to capture movements with also analog photography.
Wait, can we go back to the double exposures? The difference. So can you go back to a couple of the pictures?
Yeah.
So for example, like the one with the 3 frames.
With the 3 frames, yeah.
Marker.
3 pictures.
Yeah.
Same frame, yeah.
Same frame, 3 pictures. So how do you do it?
Yeah, practically. Okay. Practically, well, you have the film inside the camera, okay? When you talk about analog photography,
Mm-hmm.
you take the first shot, and then basically you load. You do, but basically you stop the film inside, so you don't load the film, but you just load the camera. Okay, so the frame inside the film is not moving. You understand what I mean?
I'm gonna check if anyone else understands rather than.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Does anyone understand?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, well. Yeah, me too. No.
No.
If you once had an analog camera, you understand.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've never had an analog camera. That's the trouble.
So what's the thing is, you put the film inside. Okay. When you load the film, Rosa. When you load the film inside here, I can show you. Okay. Here you put the film. You put it in this side. And then you unload, you put it here, and you attach it.
Yeah, you are still sharing the screen, so we don't see you. But I would suggest maybe we can do a question and answer section a bit later, and you continue with your presentation. And
no, or you just stop sharing the screen, and then you come back up in the big.
You don't see me at all.
No, we see you, but it's small because your screen is shared.
It's small. Okay.
There's another way. If you change your view to green,
I can stop sharing my screen.
If you stop sharing your screen, that's it. That's better. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. I go for it. So basically, you load the film. You put the roll here on one side, and then you upfold the thing inside. Okay, the negatives, say, and we put it on the other side. So basically, what you have here is film is the sensor in the digital cameras. Okay, so the light comes through the lens, and when you do the click, you let light come into the camera and on the film. Okay. Once you take the one shot, then you load it. You do this one to move the film inside the roll inside to go to another frame. You understand this logic? So if you want to do double exposure, what you do basically, there is a small button down here. You press it, and then you do this thing that enables you to make another shot, but the film inside doesn't move, so you have the same frame. I don't know if you understand this.
Yeah, I understand. So you're taking 2 pictures on the same bit of film, basically.
Yeah, the same.
On the same. section on the same frame, which has the same. Okay.
Exactly. But the logic of the double exposure is once you take one shot, okay, you take the first shot, the light that comes on the film, once there is light on the film, you cannot have a light on the light. So let's say you take the first shot and half of the picture is black and half is white. Okay. The second shot, when you take the second shot, the light will go to the dark part. You understand this?
Yeah, following.
Yeah. So basically, when you take the first shot, you need to have dark areas where you can add more things in the second shot. That's the basic idea. It's a bit complicated. Maybe someone else can explain it in an easier way. I don't know.
I think it's clear enough.
It's clear.
Roughly clear. So is it harder to take pictures, double exposure shots on daytime? Does that impact things at all?
I can tell you now. I can share my screen.
Yeah. If I just may jump in, could we continue with the photos and talk about the technical details a bit later? And
yes. Yes. So, sorry. Okay. Fine.
Have already left the meeting, and it would be good if we just go through the pictures. And
too bad for them, I say. Okay. Fine. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stop sharing. Just a moment. Okay, this one. Let's go here again. Can you see my screen?
Very small in a moment. Very small.
Now?
No, you just have to make to enlarge
the whole screen.
Yeah.
Just enlarge the folder, and then you're good.
Yeah, just a moment. I don't know why this happened.
There is under screen sharing somewhere the option to show only the screen of the application. It's getting better.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
So now enlarge the untitled folder. Yeah, this is good. Perfect.
It's fine.
Okay, so let's go back to I don't know. Yeah, to this one, for example. No, yeah. So, for example, as you can see here, the head of the girl, it's black. Okay, and so the first shot was with the girl without the moon. Okay, so I chose to put the moon on her head because it was black. So wherever you have black space, you can add things, you can add light. But if I would have chosen to take a third shot on the moon, that would be difficult to add things because there is a lot of light there. That's the basic idea. And then I can move to my other style, which is, as I told you before, a movement. With this is long exposure, just a little bit long exposure, and then you can see here the right part. You can see raindrops, and you can see this man walking. And then I have this one, which is also about movement. Same spot.
Can't tell what it is. Is it a person crossing the street?
It's a person with an umbrella.
Ah.
Yeah.
Super.
But you have this effect because you have, first of all, it's long exposure, and then you have the rain. it makes very, I mean, this contrast, this effect. And then another concept I work on is I take some pictures which are a bit focused, or which is something I really like aesthetically, first of all, and then I want to show how you can see through a lens, how a person who doesn't see very well, because also I'm wearing glasses, so if I don't wear my glasses, I see very blurry things into my camera. So I want to show this to people who have a clear vision, and I do this also. This, for example, you can see it's very grainy because I don't know if you can see the grain in the picture.
Yeah. Because
I use a very expired old film, and you have this effect. Oh, I have the, sorry?
Grain here at least.
Sorry?
To see the grain. There are some artifacts from the compression, from the transmission. So.
Yeah. Also, this picture, there is a lot of grain. And this also. This is a very long, it's like 10-15 seconds analog with film. That's it more or less from my side. This is the work I do. This is the work I like. This is part of what I do. It's called conceptual photography. So I set the whole scene. Most of the time, so I work with people and I set them. I mean, I set the scene, and it's completely different than street photography or landscape photography. It's a different concept because there is always an idea behind it. And what I do on Instagram, for example, I try to combine my pictures, with a little bit of text, which is something else I really like. It's literature. So I write small, short stories, really short stories that can be combined with the pictures. That's it from my side.
Very nice pictures indeed.
Thank you.
I'm going to let other people ask questions. I've written some down, but I'll give other people a chance.
Please.
I have one question. Have you ever tried doing this with the digital camera?
Yes, I tried, but I don't like it. I have, well, I can show you my other, this is my digital camera, which is a Nikon D750. It's a semi-professional. It's pretty decent. It's a good one. And I tried sometimes, but I don't like the idea with the digital photography because you're losing this feeling of analog photography, which is magic for me. You know, the whole thing, like taking the shot, and then you can't see it really. So you have to wait, go to the laboratory. If you don't do it by yourself, but I don't do it by myself because it's really difficult to develop film, color film. And then I have to wait 1, 2, 3 weeks, maybe 1 month, maybe 2 months. Sometimes I really forget what is in the film. So I'm really surprised why it's coming. And I really did some double exposures on my digital camera, but this is what we discussed with Rosa before. There is a limit when you do it with digital cameras. You have 2, 3, 4 maximum shots, but then with analog cameras, there is no limit. So you can do 1,000. You can take 1,000 shots. Okay, if the result won't be the same, but you understand. I don't know if you have have tried with analog or digital cameras?
I think I have tried a few times with analog a long time ago, but I've done it recently with digital, and I'm fully converted to digital now. So
Okay.
because I like the ability of processing the photos myself, not sending them to a lab and waiting for what comes out. But and I think that is also what I see with the double exposures, is that you actually see your first exposure when you do the second one, so you can frame the things in the right place.
Yeah.
Without having, I don't have a very good visual memory in terms of knowing exactly where on the frame something was, so that I can go and put the second element in the right place. So from that point of view, digital is a big help. I can understand why I was also taken aback by digital for many years, and I basically stopped photographing almost because of when there was this transition to digital. But now I'm fully converted.
I understand. This is a difference. My generation, for example, because we lived film photography. We lived, this transition when we were kids. I remember my father, my mother taking pictures with film, with analog cameras, but I didn't know where was it, and then somehow everybody was excited about digital cameras. And on the contrary, I started with film. I don't know why. I was not very fascinated. The digital stuff. I use it for my work sometimes, because I do also commercial photography for specific projects like conferences. I really like it. Of course, I cannot use my analog cameras there, but when I do artistic stuff, this kind of conceptual photography, I do it with analog, because I like what you don't like, which is quite funny. Yeah. I like to wait.
I understand that feeling also, but now I'm on the other side.
Yeah. Understand.
Is it so where I wouldn't even know, number one, where to get film, like where to buy film, and number two, where'd you get them developed? Because I remember going to the shop with my dad when I was little and getting your packet of photos like a few days later or whatever, and he would do it in a rush if you're in a rush. But how does that go these days? I literally wouldn't even know where to go to get like film photos developed.
You can get films in the same places where you can develop them, actually.
I figured. Normally, but where are those places? What are those places?
So there are photo shops, actually. I have a good shop. It's in Rue du Bailly. You know that one? It's in, where I can say, it's Louise. But
I know where Bailly is, but I don't know the shop.
You know, but it's called how it's called? Photo. I don't remember. I can say it. Yeah, it's a Photoshop. Okay, it's a lab. And then you can buy films. You can buy film rolls, and then you can give them. What I do now is, when I have a roll ready to be developed, I give it to them, and what they do in 2-3 days maximum, they send me the pictures digitally by email. And then I can choose, without paying the whole film, 24 or 36 pictures, I decide which ones I want to be printed or not. And I pay. Yeah, it's very handy, and I pay 6-7 euros for this. And then I have my pictures digitally sent by email, and then I can decide which ones I want to be printed. That's because before.
Yeah, you have to get them all printed.
Yeah, you have all of them printed, like 36 pictures. Then you can see some pictures, some crap things, or
and 20 of them are rubbish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could already get these proof sheets with small prints of all of them, and then select from those. But it's not the same.
Yeah.
But there's also a Photoshop in near the San Boniface Church in Excel. I think they also do. They develop film.
Yes,
and Excel.
I know. There are two there. It's the father and the son. Yeah.
I didn't know. I've seen the shops and I've been to one of them, but
the one is with new stuff, and the other one is with secondhand stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the father and the son. They're very, very old, and they're super good. Yeah.
I think I know the Boniface one because I know the one in Boniface. Okay, and film is is it expensive to get like film to buy the film?
No, it's like 5, 6, 7 years. It depends on the film, man, on the quality. If you go for crappy ones, you can get like 1, 3, 4 euros. You go for really good ones, you can pay up to 15 euros for a film roll. For my camera, which is 35 milliliters, which is a small format. If you go to medium formats, it's going more expensive. I don't hear you.
Oh, I just said super fun. I'm just waiting for other people to ask questions. Otherwise, I've got loads of questions. But
excuse me, I'd like to ask you, why do you use this classic camera with the film? What's the difference, and exactly specifically for you? My question is for you, not in general.
For me, yeah, as I told before, I like the whole process of taking pictures and waiting for them without being able to see them when I take them. I like this. For me, it's real magic, and I like the feeling of analog pictures. It is a bit different. It's some kind of I like imperfection. Let's say with digital, everything's crystal clear, and I don't know. It's about aesthetics. It's about feelings. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
I don't see everybody. Somebody, yeah. Milos? Are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I just joined the conversation. Can you see me, or can you hear me, or can you both?
We can. Both.
Now both.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I just joined the conversation, and I didn't catch your names, and I just have some initials here, but I signed up for this via this portal on the internet, the street photography, whatever it is. And I have a question for our host. You were talking about this place of father and son and everything, and I'm sorry, I joined later and I was listening carefully, but I didn't know which city is that from.
Which one?
I'm asking you.
Brussels. It's Brussels. But
no, in Brussels. Okay.
The shop. Petros, the shop you were talking about. The
shop. Sorry. In Brussels.
It sounds very interesting. The way that you send them the roll and they develop it, and then you can choose the pictures online. That's very handy.
Yeah, that's really handy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly.
Where are you, Milos?
I'm in Düsseldorf.
Ah, Germany.
Okay.
I'm in Düsseldorf, yes.
I think you can find places. I mean, there are photo shops. They do the same thing all over the world now, so it's pretty easy to find shops.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if you use film.
I develop my own film, but the thing is that it's sometimes easier, you know, to have it developed by someone who knows what they're doing, and you know, like with digital photography, I do also digital photography and film photography, and it's I'm sometimes get lazy, you know, like, and would like someone else to do it for me and stuff, you know. That's why it sounded very interesting that you have this option, you know, like you to choose the pictures. And do they do hand printing, or is it like just machine printing?
I think it's machine printing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also very excited this project to develop my own films and print by myself, which I never did that before.
Oh, okay.
There are some people. I have some friends. They're interested in my generation because we didn't have the chance to do it before, and we're interested in doing something like this in our homes or cellars. I don't know, somewhere we'll find a way. But now what I'm planning to do is to get at least a scanner, so I can give the film rolls to the lab to develop the film, and then I get the negatives and scan them by myself, which is also very handy.
Scan them how? What do you mean by scan? And like file them digitally?
Yeah, what the lab is doing now is they scan them. Well, they develop the film roll, they scan the pictures, and they send it to me. I can do the scanning by myself. That's all.
Yeah. Or there is another way. There is another way. If you have a digital camera, there is another way to actually photograph the negative with the digital camera. It's sometimes much better than much better than most of the scanners that are commercially available to normal people. Like, I'm not talking about drum scanners and like high-end scanners that are like really, really expensive. But I'm talking about the flatbed scanners that have a film scanning option. So you can also construct a little rig that is like a kind of a copy device or something like that with a light that lights through the negative and then photograph the negative. People have getting amazing results with that, you know. I mean, you can find a lot of it about it online.
Online, yeah, I've seen a video about this before. Yeah. But I never tried.
Tons of videos and websites with the people explaining their method and everything. Yeah, I've tried the very simple ones because I haven't been able yet to make the complete constructions, and the results are really good, even with when you handhold the digital camera. The window or something, you know. It's very good. It's very easy and very fast, you know, because with scanners you have to wait a lot of time for the scanner to scan the film properly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. True. And yeah, I
agree with you.
It's clearly a niche that I was not partial to. I didn't know much about this, actually. I didn't know. Is it a trend now? Is it trendy to do analog? Kind of experiencing a bit of a comeback, or?
I think so. Yes, I think so. It's a bit trendy. What I see on Instagram now, there are people trying to do the same the last couple of years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like people listening to records, you know.
It's a circle always.
Yeah.
It was a kind of gap because we talked about this before. It was a transition from film photography to digital, and now it's coming back again. It's coming back. I think so. Oh.
Does anyone else have? Who else is there? Let's see. Eugene, you've been very quiet.
Yeah, probably. I speaking on this side. I don't I have a digital camera, so I don't do analog. I did it once when analog, small analog cameras were you could buy them. And I think it's an interesting thing. I will probably not try it very soon. One thing that I think it can be very interesting if you are passionate about photography is that you have 30 frames to shoot instead of like an unlimited number, let's say thousands. So you really have to be careful and to do it right instead of doing it 1,000 times and then choosing the right frame.
This is another good point for photography. You have to be really careful. I mean, every shot costs. That's you take the shot, it's gone. You cannot. Yeah, cannot come back.
Except if you're doing a double upscaling.
Exactly, yeah. With double exposure, sorry, it's always you need to visualize what you have to show in the picture, and that's why you need to know exactly where you're going to put two. Otherwise, there is no logic.
I think even with a single exposure, you still have to. I mean, if I compare my pictures with your pictures, for instance, there's no comparison. You still have to see the shapes in your frame to see things that are not easily seen with the naked eye. So I think that
I mean, for me, there is no good and bad picture. It's about perspectives, how you see it. Some people they don't like my pictures, which is quite normal. I accept this. What I do, for me, photography is an expression. I have an idea and I want to express it through my photography. That's all. If you like it, it's good. If you don't like it...
Petros, maybe can you show your screen again so that we can have you in the little bubble, and whilst you're talking we can see the picture still, because then we can maybe, that kind of inspires other questions. But I know the one I want to question you about. In fact, I want to question you about all of them, but we don't have time for that. So, and Klaus is going to tell me off. So I will stick to a couple of pictures that I wanted to ask you about. One of them was the ones that you were saying, I try to show what a scene might look like to a person who's got a different eyesight. Like, I have two questions about that. One is like the practical side of things. If you are, if your sight is affected by eyeglasses, does that make? Do you think that plays into you preferring analog over digital because of the physical aspect of taking a picture? Like, do your glasses bother you when you're taking photos through digital camera more than they do when you're taking a picture through analog?
Well, I can answer
you have
your
to make
question.
it bigger. You have to make your screen bigger.
My screen bigger.
Well, yeah, there, right. I think, yeah, that's fine. And then if you can put a view on the, we see them in little icons now, but maybe
this one. I think this one is the best one. Yeah.
Can you?
Okay.
No, wait. Can you go back to like the grid view so we can have an overview of all of them? Like, right? No. The other, yeah. That's it. That's the one.
Try. I don't know why it doesn't work anymore like before. Wait.
Well, we've got them all. Well, yeah, there. But
there.
You can just make that bigger, right?
I'll try to make it bigger.
I don't know. It worked earlier.
Yeah, I know.
You can probably change the size of the previews.
In
the
wait. I know what is it. Wait, I'm gonna solve this. Share screen. I'll do it here. Share screen. Now you see it?
Yes. Now we see it.
Okay,
Cool.
perfect.
Petros, excuse me, quick questions.
Yes.
Where do you print out your analog films or photos?
Where you print them?
Yeah, at home or
No.
somewhere?
I go to the lab.
The lab. Okay.
If you're from Brussels.
I live here. Yeah.
You live in Brussels. Okay. It's called La Bolinaire. It's Rue du Bailly. I go there.
Okay.
I go the last 6-7 years there.
All right.
Welcome. What was the question, Rosa? I don't remember.
The question was about taking pictures with or without eyeglasses. So does it impact your choice of camera?
Yeah.
The question maybe, and then specific question about one of those two, let's say, blurry pictures.
I can say that I destroy a lot of glasses before, because the viewfinder the viewfinder is like a metal thing. So I used to put very close to my sun to my glasses, and then I destroyed the glass. I destroyed two glasses because of my camera. So I decided to find a kind of rubber thing. You put it on the in the viewfinder, so you can use your glasses pretty easily now without destroying them. And the digital is different because there is a protection, for sure. But sometimes I take off my glasses, but that's what I explained before. I can see only defocused things. I cannot see them clear.
That's the blurry ones, right?
Blurry ones, yeah, exactly. Which is nice sometimes. I don't like to see things, very clear. But it depends how far can you see. I mean, for me, I'm not very, very blind. I'm like 2.5, which is okay, but still I can see blurry stuff. And yeah, that was one question. The other one, what was it?
No, it was more about the motivation behind taking these blurry pictures, and I was interested in
I do it on purpose, actually.
Yeah, exactly. I was interested. Sometimes the obsession. Okay, I'm into bird photography, and the obsession is to get pictures as sharp as possible.
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't know, a little bit grainy, grainy is like the horseman. It's like the thing not to do grainy pictures. So it's fascinating to hear that someone who's on purpose taking grainy pictures is a concept that is new to me in a way.
That's good. And the other thing is that with digital cameras and digital lenses, you can do autofocus. So still, if you're blind like me, you can like touch the button, and the camera and lens can autofocus. By themselves. In analog photography, you cannot do it. It's manually. You can do it. So if you don't wear glasses, you're blind, you will never reach to have a sharp photo. That's for sure. So that's why I'm doing I'm doing this on purpose, just to show how is seeing through a lens without wearing your glasses. That's a thing.
It's super cool. I see, just for info, I see the way that the photo with the umbrella is. That's how I see at night without glasses. Without glasses, that's exactly how I see. So it's night blindness, so it's a different thing. But it's really an interesting concept. Can I see the picture next to the one that I picked for the group, like to the right, the buildings and the sea?
This one.
Yeah, what is that one, please?
This one. No, this is digital. This is my hometown. You can see the difference. This is very sharp.
Yeah, it's quite sharp. Yeah. I was saying, no, I can see it in small and as well. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah. I prepared some pictures for my. Well, this is Corfu. This is my island.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's also digital. You can see the difference. Huh?
Yeah, totally.
This one.
But the double exposures are fabulous. Today, if you had to keep one camera, if for some reason you had to give one away, which one would you give away? Like if you had to only ever use one going forward, which one would you pick?
Definitely, this is my favorite camera. This is the film Nikon. I don't change this.
No, I was just asking if you had to choose between the digital and the analog.
Film for sure.
Cool.
It's expression. It's about expression and about perspectives, as I told before, and perspectives, aesthetics.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the
I have a
flower.
Flowers. Yeah, the flowers here, for example, you can see the difference. This one, you can see the silhouette of the girl. So basically, what I did here is the first shot is with a girl, okay, against the sun. The sun was behind her head, behind her body, on purpose, because I wanted to have her silhouette like really dark, and then the background to be very very shiny. You do this on purpose, so you take the first shot, and then you have the body dark. So the second shot can be filled with more light, which is the light of the flowers. You understand what I mean? And then you have the same here. Here is more obvious.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly clear. So the first shot is dark and the second is light.
Flower? Is that two pictures or how did you take it?
It's two pictures.
Two pictures. But two of them digital or one of them?
No, it's analog.
Two of them.
Yeah, both of them. You do it once and it's done.
How do you do it? You just cut it or how? I don't understand.
No.
Who is this speaking? Sorry, who is this speaking?
Yadgar speaking.
Yadgar, but you were here at the beginning of the call or not?
Yeah, but still not clear for me.
It's not clear. Yeah, it's a bit. I understand. So I take two pictures. One picture, the beginning. So first,
what we see here, these are two pictures overlaid. So it's not a double exposure. These are two pictures.
It's a double exposure.
How do you get the exposure right? How do you calculate this? How do you? You have to feeling, or you? It's not that easy.
Well, it's easy if you learn how to do it. That's the thing. Yeah. So I practiced. Sorry. Tell me.
Go on, please.
Sorry.
No, you can go on, please.
Sorry. I practiced a lot in the beginning. I spent a lot of roles, but then I understand how it works. So basically, it's what I explained before. I take the first shot. For example, this picture. I take the girl. This is the first shot, but I put the sun behind her body. So I create this contrast. And then I have the silhouette of the girl, which is in dark. And then I have the background, which is shiny. I have a lot of light. So the second shot, I take the picture, the flowers. Okay, so the flowers, they have a lot of light. So they will cover the darkest side of the first picture. This is the logic.
Do you underexpose both pictures so that both of them become normally exposed?
Normally, I underexpose the first one just a little bit, so I have a good contrast with the silhouette, with the space I want to be covered in the second frame, in the second picture. And the second one, it's like it's a little bit overexposed, I think. But it depends. It depends on what I want to do and on the scene, on the light. It's different things. But this, well, double exposure in daylight, it's a bit more challenging, to be honest, because you have a lot of light.
Yeah,
you have to be careful.
So you have to underexpose.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key is to get a really strong contrast so that you have a very light part where the second photo just doesn't get anything, and the very dark part which will be basically replaced by the second one.
Exactly. You need a very good contrast in the first photo, which is that's why I put the sun. I put the girl against the sun, so you can't see the sun. It's behind her, so that makes a very good contrast.
So if you want to do this with digital, you cannot use the automatic or semi-automatic settings in the camera. Otherwise, it will compensate for that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Completely.
That's for sure. Always manually, always. But if your camera, your digital camera, gives you the opportunity, I mean, if you have this function in your camera, you can try. You can make different exposures, and you can see how it works. Unfortunately, for me, I spent some time doing it only with analog stuff. I didn't have a digital camera at that time, so for me, it was a bit more difficult to do it.
Does anybody has a digital camera that can do double exposures, or is that a given? Is that a standard function on cameras nowadays, on digital cameras?
Mine has it.
Have it, but there's quite a lot that do.
Many of them have it nowadays. I think all the Fujis have it, and yeah, a lot of cameras have it.
Yeah, I have it as well
But
on my
Canon.
Only I don't know if they all.
Two double. Pardon?
Yeah, there's a limit.
Silvina, you were saying?
Yeah, I have it as well on my camera, the Canon, but I think not all the Canon model have it. So maybe the older one don't have, and the.
How many frames can you do?
I mean, I'm doing it from time to time with 2 or 3. I'm not sure what is the maximum.
2 or 3, okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay in general. 3, 4. It depends what you want to do. Sometimes I tried. You can do like night photography. You can do a sequel of a person moving in different. Different positions. Then you can have like 10 or 15, 20. But then you can play with exposure. I tried once. It was with a digital camera, because with analog, if you take a lot of shots, it's getting really messy. For me, I prefer up to 3, 4. 3, 4 is the maximum for me. Unless you want to do something really abstract. I don't know.
What's the maximum you've ever taken? When you say something really abstract, what's the craziest double exposure or multiple exposure that you've ever done?
I didn't try any very extreme things, you know. I think his maximum was 4 to 5.
I don't even know if my camera has a double exposure or not. I'll have to check on that because I never actually needed it. But this is really inspiring what I'm seeing on the screen.
Yeah, same here. I want to try it now. Yagdar, sorry, was it clear? Was your question answered? Is it clear for you now, or did you want to ask questions still?
Yeah, but I have another question. Where can I find it if I have in my camera or not? I think we have the same camera, the digital one, D7 750. You have it, right? The full frame one, isn't it?
I have a full frame 750.
Yeah, the digital one. Do you have it with the digital one?
Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you right away. Maybe. Yeah, it's in photo shooting menu. It's the second one.
Okay, what's written? Sorry.
It's a second option of the menu. It's called photo shooting menu.
Okay.
And then you go to subcategories, which is it's called multiple exposure.
Ah, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, and then you can turn it on, and then I can see here I have three shots maximum.
Ah, okay, even 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just checking the manual for the Canon 5D, and it allows from 2 to 9, so you can go up to 9 exposures. But,
oh, that's great.
Oh wow, that's
9. Wow.
Active or average. So average reduces a bit the problem of overexposing, because if you continue shooting on the same, you end up overexposing everything. But you can actually regulate it to be average.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to play a lot with the light, a lot. That's actually what photography is, eh?
Yeah, and I think with a manual, with an analog film, you really have to be very careful with the light, because otherwise you risk, if you take 2 or 3 exposures, you risk overexposing everything.
Exactly. Thank God I have in my camera. Sorry, I have a light meter in the camera, that's why it was fully professional back then. So I have a light meter, and I can. This is very, very handy. Otherwise, whew.
Excuse me. Can you do the same, let's say, action with Photoshop or other software?
Yes, you can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I can guess how, but I never done it before. But you can do it definitely. You can do with Photoshop. You can do a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
I don't think it will be very easy. It is possible, but I think it's also quite difficult to learn.
How to do it? Yeah. Maybe.
Trial and error. Silvina, did you want to say something?
Yes, because we were talking about, is it possible to do it after in Photoshop or Lightroom? And I just wanted to say that exercise, not the exposure in the camera. And sometimes I try Lightroom, I'm not using Photoshop, and the result was not by superposing the 2 photos. It was not as good as doing it from the camera.
Okay.
I can't say for Photoshop because I'm not using it.
Yeah, I think with Photoshop you can get a bit better results, because you can define the way in which the 2 layers would merge and choose the one that works better. But it's not an easy process anyway.
I'm not familiar with this at all.
Well, I wanted to ask another another question on this photo of the girls with the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important the order you take the photo? Like, would it be the same if you take first the flower and second the girl?
You can do it. It's more challenging, I think. I prefer to do first. I want to control my my picture, so I try to create first the contrast, and then to have clear in my mind where is the dark side inside the frame. So as soon as I know where's the dark side, I can fill it with whatever I want. And then here I chose flowers, and I chose different colors, so there is a variety. It makes it more beautiful. That's how I do it. Or for example, I can show you here. Here it's a different style. Here, for example, I took the photo of the girl first, and then I didn't want to show her eyes, so that's why I chose this part of the sky, which is very bright, and at the same time you see the lights where I defocused on purpose because I wanted to have this effect.
So is this 3 exposures?
The two. It's double.
I don't understand the light and the sky.
This is the horizon. It was what was it? It was around. It was evening. It was a sunset. And then there was a line of traffic lights, but I defocused them on purpose, just to make them like this, which is something I really like. And the girl, actually, when I took the picture of the girl, was on the other side, completely. Or sometimes I take a shot, for example, today, and the second shot I take it maybe a week after, or maybe a month after. Or sometimes I take a shot in a country and the second shot in another country. Sometimes happens. For example, last year I took one shot, the first shot in London, and the second shot in Brussels.
So cool, but then you have to remember not to do anything with the film. Like you have to remember not to touch the film.
Exactly.
You cannot do anything with your camera, right? When you're doing this, like you cannot. You just need to use another camera if you want to take other pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You also need to remember where things were in the original picture. For me, what's more amazing in this photo is how you managed to get the light exactly over the eyes. And I think I would get it either a bit too high or a bit too low, and would never get it right.
It's super impressive, this photograph.
Yeah. You always need to remember what you took in the first shot. That's the thing.
My favorite ones are the ones with the flowers, both of them. Actually, this is the reason why I joined this conversation.
I'm giving myself a point here for picking the right photo.
This is because of Rosa, yeah.
There you go.
That was the pictures, yeah.
I got a commission out of this. Yeah. I didn't want to tell you guys, but Petros and I made an agreement. I get a little commission.
I don't remember where I take. I remember. Yeah, it was in somewhere in Belgium, the south of Belgium.
It's super amazing. It's just so beautiful. It's also the pose of the girl. It's not just the flowers are pretty, but it's, for me, well, I liked all of your pictures, but first of all, it was like a bright sunny day when I picked it. But also what I really liked was the pose of the girl, the way that the flowers in the background are a little bit faded. It just looks, you can tell that an awful lot of thinking went into this picture. Yet it looks so natural in the way that it's just beautiful. I don't know, it just all works all together as a composition, or perhaps it's the way that the girl is posing, or the hair against the like faded light of the background. I mean, it just all works really well, and it's also imperfect in a way, because it's not like completely covered in flowers. There's also this like green spot. It's just perfectly.
That's what's very important for me. It's the first impression. If the first impression you like picture, you like it, for me it's I'm satisfied. Let's say.
Yeah, it's
long was it? Yeah, sorry.
Tell me.
I don't know if how long was it before that you took the flower photo, the girl photo, and the flowers afterwards? I mean, was it like on the same location, or
no. The first one, it was completely in the middle of nowhere, in the fields. Mm-hmm. It was a very sunny day. And the second one, I was with my motorcycle, the girl, and it was like 2-3 hours later.
Okay.
And if you can see that the flowers are not directly exposed to the sun. They're a bit. There is a shadow.
They're a bit at an angle.
But then that means that I overexposed the second shot to make them more visible.
Bright, yes.
More bright, yes. That doesn't work.
Yeah, but it worked perfectly.
Yes, it worked. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah. The girl is happy.
Guys, I have to go. Thanks a lot for everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 I think we might like to wrap up. Klaus, you are terribly quiet. It's unsettling how quiet you are. What are you doing?
No, I'm listening. And,
do you have any questions?
I don't have a question in the moment to this, but I really must say I'm impressed, and also from the way how you're apparently able to memorize what was one picture, and then later and then matching also the right point. And exposure, it's I'm doing this from time to time digital, but I'm really impressed how you do this. That's marvelous. One question, which is a bit off topic, on the island of Corfu, what we see there, is this a lake or is this a crater? Is this salt water or not?
No, it's the sea actually.
It's a sea.
It's a sea, okay. Yeah. It's on the lake.
Yeah, very nice. Years ago, we did a trip to Lesbos with Photoresk and had a photo trip for 1 week to one of the Greek islands. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and there's something else before I forget it. As we started these series with presentations, as Sean started last time, and now you, in parallel, we are building a virtual gallery for Photoresk. And I thought about it, and I decided that everybody who is presenting at these 2 weekly meetups will be offered for 2 pictures to hang in this virtual gallery. It's a virtual room. It looks like a real gallery, but it's virtual.
It looks amazing. It's an amazing space. It's like a digital exhibition hall. He's underselling it now. It's like it's a fabulous. Looks like you're in a building, and it's very, very well done.
Yeah, thank you, Rosa. And this is a space where it's a bit like what you see, what MoMA is doing, and all the other museum. But this is a space which is really virtual, except for the pictures which are hanging there. These are photos, and so it's almost ready, and I will launch it next week or the week after. Send me 2 of your pictures. It doesn't need to be a super high resolution, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
1500 pixel or something is enough. But there will also be a link then to your website and to.
Sure. Yeah. Happy to.
I think we can promote each other a bit with doing so.
Sure.
Good. I don't know if someone else has questions or some remarks.
I think we covered everything.
I have no questions, no additional questions for the time being. A request to maybe be shown the process at some point when it's possible, because it's super fascinating. But also to thank you for your time and your availability and your willingness to talk to us. It's really fabulous. It's like a completely different area for most of us, and it's super interesting and very inspiring. And also, I'd love to see the stories. I don't know if they're available on non-Instagram dinosaurs, but one thing Klaus hasn't said is that there is also another website that he runs called Wordery. Come on, help me out, Klaus.
It's called worldly.photos, and it's a website. The intention was
I can show it to you.
Bringing photos and stories together. So it's
okay, that's interesting.
Klaus, tell me again the name.
Please.
Tell me again the name. I can pull it up and show you because it's super interesting.
So if I may, the idea of this website was to provide high quality content, to provide high quality photos with high quality stories. It was the idea also to make a little bit of a business of it. It has not really taken off, but it's functional. It's there's some very nice photos, and Rosa, you can.
I'm trying to pull it up.
A link to it, and it has, if you look through the website, which is more complex than it might look at the first place, there's also a join now and also some disabled payment options. Don't get scared about this. It's not an anonymous big organization. It's just me behind, and everybody who is really interested and is wants to provide some photos, just contact me, and then I provide you an upgrade free of charge, and then you can post every week one photo in the story. But have a look, and then just come back to me and talk to me, and then. This is another project which was going on a while ago. So please feel free to have a look at this and join and put your works up. I would need maybe someone who helps a bit proofreading because there's a workflow. So if you submit your photo and your story, it's not published immediately. There is a review process in between. So,
Klaus, I think it would really help if you put a link to that site in the chat, or if you, because
Okay, this would be great.
I can share it if you want.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I put the address in the chat, but I can try to share the.
I think there's a spelling mistake in the address that you put in the chat.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
what kind of story put there?
Yeah, exactly. If we can just show it. Klaus, do you have it open maybe?
No, I can't. I'm on the iPad and I can't.
Okay, Joachim, do you have it open?
I have it open.
Okay, can you send link on the chat?
I'm trying to. Let me see. It's been strange. Yeah, it is the link that I put on the chat.
No, there's a spelling
The other thing
mistake.
was there was an L missing in the one that Sylvina sent. It's worldly.com.
I think it's a miss. No, I don't think it's correct.
It is, yes.
No, it's correct, Klaus?
Just typed it.
It has an alias. One is worldly photos and the other is worldly photos. So if
for some reason I can't share.
I'm trying to pull it up.
Strange.
Okay, I'll show it to you. Just a minute. Here it is. You ready?
You're ready.
Okay, here it is. So, for example, this reminds me, Petros, of what you were saying. So, for instance, you see you've got a little story. It's actually super well done. So you've got a little story here. This is Tibor, someone who comes to the Photoresk meetings, but obviously is not available tonight. But he's taken this picture. So this is, come on, this is one. You see, it kind of it's got a story.
It's a short
really
story.
It's very beautiful.
This is better.
Can you, Rosa? Can you just go again to the front page? If you just click on worldly photos on the left on the logo.
Yeah.
Then I can.
Tell me.
Then I can talk to you a bit. No, this was right.
Worldly. So who's behind it?
Me. It's
Klaus is behind it.
Klaus
Klaus is the genius behind it.
Yeah. So at the front page.
Which
no, I changed it. No, can I talk? Can I?
Menu, worldly photos. Where do you want me to go? It's changed.
Yeah, just wait. Just wait. I will tell you. Okay, now there's even on the front page a little bit of a menu. There was for a long time, there was no menu. If you click on one of these stories, you did already?
Yeah, here, this one, for example.
Or click on view story, yeah. Click on any of those.
Yeah, there you go.
So, okay, this is now a very recent one. So you see there's the photo and the story beside. From there you can share this story to the social media, which also will advance your story. As more shares it has, as more prominent it will be displayed here. Can you scroll up again, Rosa?
Who took all these pictures?
Different people in Photoresk.
Okay.
So Klaus, what do you want me to go to?
If you go to the top at the menu.
I am at the top. There.
If you open the menu.
I am opening the menu,
Okay, there's, you can start with writing a story directly with write a story. Even if you are not registered, you just could start writing. If you scroll a bit down, Rosa. But there then you will ask to the photo, you give it a title and you have a text. There is not much formatting in the text. Can you scroll up? There's not much formatting in the text. So it's just for a plain story. And then you can classify it in the category. And if you are not registered, then in the moment when you say send it, then you will go through the whole registration process. So if you would start typing here your email address, Rosa, see you hopefully in 2 weeks. And have a nice evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too.
Enjoy your evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
this meeting. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.